I've had the pleasure of reviewing some great flashlights from Wuben, including the X4, which is one of their newer releases. I did a whole review on that, as well as the PLO1 pen light that I have in this little holster right here. I did just buy this holster because I thought it would go well with their newest one that they sent me, the Wuben L3. So I just want to dive right into it and go over some of the unique features of this tactical flashlight. Before I go over the features of the L3, I want to go over the specs very quickly. So on the front of the box, you can see it has a max output of 3000 lumens on turbo, which goes out to a distance of 226 meters, and a really nice max output power of 18 watts. So it generates a ton of power, so it's super bright. And on the back, you have some additional specs. So you've got high, medium, low, moonlight, strobe, SOS for the different modes. You can see the outputs there along with the run times. So it can last up to 120 hours on moonlight mode. And like I mentioned, it goes out to a distance of 226 meters, has a drop resistance of 1 meter, and IP68 water resistance rated. So it does come with the flashlight, a few extra O-rings, the battery, a charging cable, a lanyard, and a user manual. Now that we've talked about the specs, I want to go over the features, the design, and also how to use the L3. And so the first thing you'll notice is that it's a traditional barrel design. This is a tactical flashlight. It doesn't have a lot of fancy modes like the X4. I'm just going to actually put this aside for 1 second. And so I think that makes it actually very accessible to most people. Most people understand how to use this flashlight, especially when they first pick it up. You've got your tail switch right there. You've got a pocket clip. And then just opening up the flashlight itself, you unscrew the end here. And let's just check out the battery. So the battery here is a 21700 battery, which has a rating of 4800 milliamp hours. So you can see it's a really nice beefy battery, and there's a little diagram here which way the battery goes, which I really like. Wuben, they have that on most of their flashlights, if not all of them, so that's really nice. And then you just screw the cap back on just like this. And to recharge it, it does come with a cable as well as a lanyard, which you put right there. You unscrew this section, and that reveals the USB-C charging port. So that's really nice. Even though it's IP68 water resistant rated, I like the fact that this does protect the charging port. Right underneath the charging port, you've got the battery level / charging indicator. So it'll turn different colors, let you know when it's time to charge it. I believe it turns red when you need to charge it. And overall, it's a very nice, well-constructed flashlight coming in at, well, without the battery, it's actually 3.7 ounces, something like that. But with the battery, that's where it's going to bring it up to 6.2 ounces. So the battery adds a lot of weight to it. But because this is such a powerful flashlight, you need a battery like that. Also comes in at a length of a little under 5.5 inches and a diameter a little over 1 inch. So it's a really nice flashlight. Probably good for EMTs, for law enforcement, or search and rescue, for camping, hiking, obviously all those different things. Is it a good everyday carry light? Yes, I would say you can carry this as an everyday carry light, but I wouldn't really carry this in my pocket. That's why I did get the holster, which I'll go over at the end. To operate the flashlight, you do have this tail switch. Now, this is a 2-stage tail switch. What I mean by that is if you press it all the way down, that turns the flashlight on. And then press it all the way down again, it turns it off. But if you just half press, you get this temporary on. And then if you have it on, that's how you change the modes. You just half press through the different modes. Now, in terms of the tactile feedback, it's not like, let me just turn this off for 1 second. My pen light over here, which you can see right away, this protrudes out from the back. This is flush with the back. And this one has, hopefully you can hear that, a definite audible click to it. So that's how you know that this is on and this is off. This one, you can still hear it, but you can see it's not as loud. And so this is much more tactile than the PLO1. It's got really nice texture up here, so you can find the little button up here with your thumb. And so you really have to kind of train your muscle memory, I guess, to understand when you're only half pressing versus a full press. I was not expecting to see some flurries out here. You'll see when I turn on the flashlight, some of the snowflakes coming down, but I wanted to go through the different modes and brightness levels for the Wuben L3, do an outdoor test. Now, of course, like I mentioned, you do have to press all the way down to turn the flashlight on. That goes right into the moonlight mode, and then half pressing it changes the brightness level. So you got low, medium, and then high. And then the interesting thing is that when you press it again, it actually cycles backwards. So you go back down to medium, low, and then moonlight. Now, if you want to access the turbo, what you have to do is press halfway down and hold it for half a second. And you can see the difference there. You probably can see some of the flurries right there. And then you let go, it goes right back into the last brightness level that you were at. So it does have a memory. And there is no permanent turbo, so as long as you have that button pressed like this, it'll always be on turbo, but the second you let go, you're no longer on turbo. Now from here, if you double press, you've got the strobe. And then if you triple press, 1, 2, 3, you've got the SOS, and that's really it. There's no other functions beside that. So now that we've gone through all of the features and functions of the L3, I want to wrap up by showing you the holster that I just recently got. This is one from One Tigress, and it's really nice. Made of a really nice thick nylon material. It's got a Velcro closure. It's got a snap in the back so you can attach it to a tactical backpack or even to your belt. And it's got some loops on the side so you can add additional items like pens. I just added some backup flashlights with the X4 and the PLO1 from Wuben. And so even with the pocket clip, this one actually fits in very nicely like this. And then you just close it up and there you have it. So let me know your thoughts on the Wuben L3. This does go for $49.99 on Amazon or the Wuben website, which I'll both link below. If you want to go check that out, if you do purchase it through those links, it helps out the channel as I get a little bit of commission from the sale at no extra cost to you. So love to know your thoughts and comments below on the Wuben L3. And until next time, as always, God bless.